All right. This is the WMB show, and welcome. This is Wednesday night. During the week, we feature, different stories, political, going on with the recording, but it seems to be acting kind of funny tonight. I don't know why, but we'll continue to talk here and see what happened during the recording. But listen, let's get at it. All right. Well, I don't know what's going on with the recording, but at least it's recording. It's not stopping. It's not stopping and pausing and doing all this other kind of crazy stuff like we normally do. I mean, it is kind of buffering a little bit. So please excuse that. And so that rhythm is getting to me. I really love the way they did that for the intro. But I got another intro too, but I just don't know what's going on with that one. But listen, if you have not heard about Epstein, the proposed and alleged and criminally charged pedophile out there in Miami who gotten away with a sweet prosecution deal. Something like 15 years ago or something for raping little girls, 13, 14, 15, 16, and inviting these girls onto his island with some important connections. Now listen, Bill Clinton and the Prince of England. I think it might be Edward or something like that. It's an older guy, not too much older than the current prince. He's in his late 50s. He looked like, but just can't remember his name. But he is implicated in association with Epstein. Now look, if I'm an ex-president or a prince of a country, believe me, you guys, I'm not going to be in association with a convicted pedophile. Now I can see, you made a mistake once. You didn't know this guy. You didn't know the importance of the connection, not like the importance of it being important, but the fact that you didn't know he was a convicted pedophile. But if you are Bill Clinton, you go into his island more than 20 times. It's not too highly unlikely and not too far-fetched that he has been doing the same thing, allegedly. Now, what I've heard and what I have not seen, the New York Police Department want to arrest President Bill Clinton for all of the things that have been coming up and out there and all of the power connection that Epstein has. Now, allegedly, I am alleging that this is what has happened with Bill Clinton and the Prince of England. Now, these are some very important people, as you know, and some important and very strong connections. But like I've said so many times, character and integrity marks the day. And it's very important when you are rich and you are famous that you hold the line and that you speak up for what is right, just, and true. Now, am I perfect? No. But god damn, I'm not gonna, be raping some 13, 14, 15-year-old girl, let alone 18 or legal 21. That's way too young for me. But, this Epstein guy and the bastard who let him off, the current um, Secretary of Labor, I believe it is, Acosta, just need his ass whooped. Hit him in his motherfucking face, nose, and mouth, and just beat him half to death because this guy just one of the during the interview or investigation at the Senate or during a Senate meeting or whatever it was, he had this very nonchalant, I don't give a fuck, it ain't none of my kids look on his face, and saying that it was okay for letting this Epstein go. Now I don't know what the hell he got. I don't know, maybe he might got a couple of million, $100,000. I don't know. But somebody somewhere needs to care about our kids. And this is just one thing I'm not going to let go on this show without talking about it. It is just beyond me that anyone would want to hurt a child. Now, I'm pretty sure that everybody is aware of Homeland Security and the Department of Homeland, whatever it is, housing these immigrants or migrants or whatever the hell you want to call them, and mistreating them. And not one is white. They all got brown complexion. So you know damn well white folks are trying to eliminate these people or putting them into a pedophile ring type of situation, and they are being physically, mentally, emotionally abused, starved, being told to sleep on the concrete floor, and they have no voice speaking up for them. Not even the fucking president, but then again, he's a bitch-ass motherfucker to begin with. Yeah, that's one of the things we're going to talk about too, because the 13-year-old girl he allegedly raped has come up onto the judicial table again. Now, I don't know about you, but I would want to know for sure that this is not happening. And for the life of me, I don't see a person who has this kind of a record, President Trump has had, is able to become president of the United States. I mean, is there a lack of concern amongst the citizenry, among American citizens, that they just don't give a shit? As long as it's white, it's right. Because I can honestly tell you, if those migrants were white, they wouldn't be in this shit. They would not be separated from their parents. They would not be starved. They would not be facing, all of these things that these migrant, brown-skinned adults and migrant children are facing. Being starved, being raped, being killed, or allowed to die. It's just absolutely stunning that our government, which is being run by white folks, that they allow this shit to happen. But why not? And so we're going to cover a couple of things here outside of Acosta that really just, irks my nerve, and I found it necessary to talk about it. Now, I don't know if you can hear like a double echo, but if you can, just kind of work through it. But I think I made it. Okay. I think we got it. Got that covered about 9 minutes into it. But yeah, this Acosta guy or Costa, President Trump just need to relieve him and fire him, and he just need to step down as well because this 13-year-old rape case, not 13-year-old rape case, 13-year-old girl rape case against him is going to stick. And, my question to the audience that's listening: when are we going to stand up and fight for what is right, just, and true? Just because you're rich and famous does not make you above the law. It cannot, and it must not be stood for. I just don't see it. So when I heard about Acosta being involved in this, it really irked me because he know damn well if that was his daughter, he would want Epstein in jail for eternity. But, the old saying goes, justice doesn't sleep forever. And when you participate in evil, it always gets you. I mean, pride comes before the fall, and Acosta, pride has covered his eyes for whatever reason and has allowed this so-called billionaire Epstein to get away with, I don't know, maybe murder, literally, but definitely sexual aggression against kids. This motherfucker should never see the light of day ever again. And I'm just so glad that, he's finally getting caught, he's finally getting pinned up, and he's finally going to jail, hopefully. Because this shit is just way, way out there, and this is just not even the tip of the iceberg. This is an indication as to how deep, how wide, and how tall this pedophilia is running throughout our government, building halls and halls of power. Not only through the government, but through the business corridors of corporate America. Harvey Weinstein, Matt Lauer, and the list goes on. It's just absolutely, positively ridiculous, insane, and totally unnecessary. But then again, white men have the power, have the connection, and they've been getting away with this shit for far too fucking long. And, at some point, they gotta face the evidence and the punishment. But God, man, I'm just sitting here and I'm just, behooved by it. But I guess the general census has been, oh, it's not my daughter, it's not my son, it's not my family. Why should I give a fuck? You should, because at one point or at some point, maybe might be yours. So we all have to fight, and we all have to stand up, and we all have to say something. Because these politicians work for us. We don't work for fucking them. They work for us. All right? So, as I have said so many times before, the book that is in front of you is called The White Man's Burden of Lies and Deceit. That's book 1. And book 2 deals with white supremacy, understanding white supremacy, The White Man's Burden of Lies and Deceit 2. So, I can't even speak tonight. Out of these 2 books, you're going to get a really good understanding of race relations, not only in America, but throughout the world and what has happened. And once again, white folks are not white. They're not European. They're not Caucasian. They're not Aryan. They're not Anglo-Saxon or whatever other name that they think that they are. They just bleached out black people from the albinos of India, the Dravidian albinos. And so the book goes into why do white people hate black people so much? It's because of what we did to them. The same shit we doing, they doing to us, we did to them. To whatever degree it may be, it's still the same shit. And it has been a vicious, divisive circle. But one thing for sure, as Jane Elliott has said so eloquently, black people were here first, we're going to be here last, and white folks are dying. So if you think you're going to wipe us out, you got another thing coming. You guys are getting up out of here. Y'all are dying and Trump can't save you. And you know what? I really doubt that there's like 120 million white folks in the world. You know, they were trying to get this Egyptian guy as dark as me, trying to tell him, "Oh, you white. You get the white card. You get the white blessings. Come on, you can be white." No. This guy was smart enough to say, I am a part of my people in America. I am black. Hey, don't bring that weak shit here, because y'all started that shit. Y'all must face it, right? But you know what? The sins of the father and mother are always visited upon their children. The sins of the parents are always visited upon their children. And this is the legacy that so-called white people have passed down to their children. It has been a history of death, destruction, disease, and despair that is wiping them out. Hate kills. It lowers your blood pressure, or it speeds up your blood pressure. It vasoconstricts your veins and your arteries, causing headaches and strokes and you name it. Lowering your defense system. I mean, what else can be said, right? And so when all of this is said and done, white folks, like I have said about Acosta, are dying. Their birth rate like 0.01, the 0.09 to 1.1. To maintain a birth rate, you need at least a 2.1. Black people, 8.9, 9.5. We ain't going no damn where. And we're just multiplying. No matter how they try to kill us with the eugenics program and whoever else might be out there trying to do us in. It ain't going to work. So with all of that being said, white folks just need to come back to the table of humanity. It's still not too late, but it's going to be very late in the game, but still not too late. So my thing is, declare your blackness. You are a whited out black person. And then you can claim, Egypt and all of the other civilization that black people have created. Real simple. But I don't believe they're going to do it. Because their head is so far up their ass and believing that they're white, believing that they're better, believing that, they did this and they did that and they ain't did a damn thing. But, we're going to see. And to be honest, I don't believe it. And they don't believe it because their eyes are so full of pride that they can't even see their own downfall coming. And that's a damn shame. Because a lot of white folk do know the truth. And it is so very important that at this late stage of the game, they just come back to the table of humanity, behave, and give back all of the land that has been taken. It's real simple. But I digress, and we're going to move on and try to deal with some of these things that I saw today. Now, I don't know about you, but J.P. Morgan is a very huge corporation. And according to this sfgate.com, it just blows my mind. But they found, hold on, I'm trying to bring this up. Let me see if I can, They found $1 billion worth of drugs on this ship that is owned by J.P. Morgan after the U.S. Customs found out that it contained drugs. Not 1 million, not 10 million, not 100 million, $1 billion worth of drugs. Now, what kind of drugs it is, I'm waiting on, waiting on the article to come up so we can go through it. I guess as a host, I should have read it, but I just kind of like wanted it to be a surprise to me too, as we bring this up. But listen, as it's trying to come up, I'm still trying to, work my way through Acosta and the fact that President Trump is still facing this 13-year-old girl's alleged rape case. And I know he's like, man, will I ever catch a break? No, you won't. Because at some point, justice got to count. And justice is on its way towards you, Trump, and your whole damn family. I'm hoping. But this shit is just way too far out there. And and if Acosta was a real man, he would step down with his bitch ass looking punk ass face. I mean, god damn, if I could hire the ex-governor of California, the Terminator, to hit him in his face, I would. Shit, he was threatening to beat the shit out of Trump. And, Trump ain't going to want to have that. So, I don't know. It just truly is disgusting to me that we have come to this point. But let me see what's going on with this article. Yeah, for some reason it's kind of taking its time to come up. But, like I said, it's about high time as a nation we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, are given the inalienable right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, no matter the race, gender, or ethnicity. Stand up and fight. This is what America is about. So let me go on back. Okay, here we are. All right, so listen, I'm going to bring it up, and we're going to talk about it. All right, so let me go back to this. So as I said, the U.S. Customs just seized a ship owned by J.P. Morgan after authorities found $1 billion worth of drugs on it. And this is dated July the 9th. This is yesterday. Well, I'll be damned. Now let's go down here and see what the real deal is. Come on, stop circling and coming up. But as you can see, you guys can find it on sfgate.com, the Business Insider, and the article is written by Gina Heeb. So I'm hoping I can get to it. But this is just totally amazing. I mean, this company, J.P. Morgan, if they are implicated in it and they are culpable, then $1 billion worth of drugs, what kind of drugs was it? I just don't know. But it indicates that power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. And that's what we need to defend against. You are not, whether you are a corporation or individual with a lot of money and a lot of connections and a lot of power, you are not above the law. So hold on, let me see if it. Oh my God, it's still coming up. But I'm gonna move on. But you guys get the general sense of what that article is, because I don't want to, keep talking about it and then the article is not coming up. But if it does, then I'm gonna let it continue. But if it does come up, then I will get back to it. All right. So that's really damaging to the reputation and to their credibility. Wow. J.P. Morgan. See, I kind of wonder if J.P. Morgan himself is turning over in his grave. All right, but we're gonna move on. Um, this one is about a black doctor, and we're coming up on a half an hour into the program. And oh my, come on, man! You, wow. Well, excuse the timer. I don't know what the heck is going on with the computer, but it's still uh, coming up. But Jesus. Okay. Well, um, she's a female physicist, and she came up with a way in which she uses lasers to cure cancer. Now, I really wanted to talk about that in depth because, as we live this life, we gotta, help people to cure them and to be a positive inspiration. And this young physician is really hitting the mark. And God, I hope it does come up so you guys can see. Please excuse tonight because I don't know what the heck is going on. But, oh, well, you know how I go with podcasts. So it should happen. But, yeah, if push comes to shove and nothing shows up, then I'll just continue to talk about it. So let me see what the other one is about. Yeah, that was a Trump rape case. So that part is in the journal.ie/Trump rape. And, my God, I mean, at what point do we as citizens, especially politicians or police or state, local officials, just stand up and do what's right? Is it really that hard? Uh, I don't know. We might have to cut this a little bit short because my things are not working right. Um, so we're coming up on a half an hour mark. Normally, these things do show up, but tonight, I pay my internet bill, so that's not it. And the internet is on, and that's not it. Maybe it might be the computer or something. There's a virus that's slowing things down. I don't know. But these three things: the J.P. Morgan incident with the $1 billion in drugs being found on that ship, the black physician, female physician. Not saying that being female is something special, but she pioneered a way to cure cancer with lasers. And the other one is with the dumbass Trump and his 13-year-old girl rape case. And none of these things are coming up. So, I don't know. All right, but well, things happen. So, please excuse and apologize. But I'm going to go back to my book. All right? So let's do that. So we got a few minutes to do that as well. All right. So this guy. Now this guy's name is Colin, and he wrote a book called "Black Girls Bleed a Lot," and this is it. White Girl Bleed a Lot by Colin Flaherty. Now, I have seen him on another podcast with this other podcaster, young guy, and the guy was looking at him like, you motherfucker. Shut the fuck up talking about how violent black folks are and talk about how violent white people are. And this is a white guy. This is other, podcast caster. I can't remember his name, but just Google or YouTube him, and you will see the guy looking at him and just going along with the go along, and not saying that he's agreeing. But Colin Flaherty is a fucking asshole. And I asked him personally on his own YouTube channel to Skype me in to, do a YouTube video interview with me. And he actually believed that black people are the most violent people on the face of the planet, and especially in America. And, I got the goods on him. White folks are the biggest criminals in the history of America and the world. So don't go there with me, Colin Flaherty, because I know motherfucking well you're not gonna want me on your show because I got all the receipts, I got all the paperwork. Read my book, The White Man's Burden of Lies and Deceit 1 and 2, and we can just go at it. Because I know motherfucking well you're not gonna have me on your show. All right, you a bitch, and anybody that can stand or say things like you say on YouTube without having the proper person to counteract that, or however, whatever word is applicable to that, man, you shitting out your ass backwards. You're coming out your mouth rather than your ass. So take a straw, stick it in your own ass, and drink the creamy brown shit out that motherfucker. As a matter of fact, you deserve the donkey of the day. Twice, bitch. Yeah. So, if you see this motherfucker, Colin Flaherty, who wrote the book, and I'm not trying to hype him up, White Girl Bleed a Lot, let him know about me. Tell him to have me on his show, have him to read my book, and I can guarantee you I'm going to slay this motherfucker. He's not going to be able to stand me at all with all the facts, and especially the cover of this book. Colin, stand your ass up, turn around, pull down your pants, and let me see your tail, because I know you got one, motherfucker. I know you got one. I know you got one, you troglodyte, knuckle-dragging motherfucker, you. It just amazes me that, you can talk all this shit, but you don't have me on your show. Ain't that a bitch? But that's cool. Because bitch-ass motherfuckers like you, like Bill O'Reilly, Tommy Lauren, Laura Ingraham, and whoever else, off the top of my head, I can't recall them, can just kiss my ass. Seriously. But I digress. And this guy isn't even worth the time of day. So, but, if you guys can, please tell him about me and tell him I want to be on his show. Then have a debate. Real simple. He talk all this shit about black folks. I want him to refute the evidence and the receipts of white violence. 92% of white people who are killing white people are the white people. I would dare to say it's 95%. But, the lowest is 92%. They're the worst killers, gangsters, drug addicts, worst fathers and mothers, the worst people to use and SNAP, welfare benefits, and Section 8. But these lies that they've been telling about black folks, it's catching up to them, and people are waking up, especially black people, because this is what they fear. They don't want to be sent into slavery again. That's the fear. Economic slavery, political slavery, social slavery, and ultimately physical slavery. Because in all honesty, black men are still pimping the shit out of white women, like we did before, in the harems of North Africa and Spain and wherever else, like we did when we ruled and controlled the 13 colonies that became the first 13 states. And, you know, America is only consists of 13 states. 13 states. That's it. And King James, King Charles, and King George were black men. And so the only slaves that were in America were white. That's it. And King George III is the one who told the colonists, do not take your asses below, beyond the Appalachian Mountains. And that's it. But every state thereafter and every piece of land that was taken erroneously and through violence. That's it. And they need to just give that land back. Period. All right, now it's coming up, so I'm going to try to talk about it. And the first one dealing with Trump. So it says, this is the journal IE. And it says, a lawsuit claiming Donald Trump raped a 13-year-old girl has been refiled in New York. And what date is this? October the... What the hell? Oh, well, okay. This is dated today, the 10th of Wednesday of July 2019. But this particular article goes back to 2016 on October the 4th. And you see the punk ass here. It says a rape lawsuit against Donald Trump over an accusation of historical sexual abuse has been refiled in a U.S. court. A woman claimed the controversial New York property developer and Republican presidential nominee, blah, blah, blah. It's not really allowing me to see the whole thing, but, you know, at least you guys are getting a little bit of it. The federal lawsuit was refiled on September the 30th, 2 weeks after the complainant voluntarily, blah, blah, blah. But you can pretty much go to the journal.ie Trump rape case, and it should come up. So it's still coming up here. It goes on to say, it accuses Trump of raping the complainant, then 13, over 20 years ago at an Upper East Side party in New York, hosted by a convicted sex offender and notorious billionaire investor Jeffrey Epstein. Now this motherfucker is a pedophile. Let me just throw that on out there. Because anytime you can associate with a convicted pedophile, you're doing the same shit. It doesn't take much of a leap of faith to make that connection. And like I said, white men have been doing this since over 200 years ago. And probably more intensely after they got control of the government after the Reconstruction of 1877. They formed the Democratic Party. That was the party of white men, and the KKK. And this has been, excuse me for that little interruption, and this has been going on for the last, I don't know, 100 and, or over 200 years. So they've been having a fun time. Harvey Weinstein and Matt Lauer and thousands of others across the world and globe or America, just getting over. And it's just high time to stop the bullshit. And so it goes on to say, I traveled by, well, this is what she is saying, I traveled by bus to New York City in June of '94 in the hope of starting a modeling career, the claimant said in a statement. I went to several modeling agencies, but was told that I needed to put together a modeling portfolio before I would be considered. I then went to the Port Authority in New York City to start to make my way back home. There I met a woman who introduced herself to me as Tiffany. She told me about the party and said that if I would join her at the party, I would be introduced to people who could get me into the modeling profession. She added, Tiffany also told me that I would be paid for attending. The parties were held at a New York City residence that was being used by defendant Jeffrey Epstein. Each of the parties had other minor girls and a number of guests of Mr. Epstein, including defendant Donald Trump, at four of the parties I attended. I understood that Mr. Trump and Mr. Epstein knew I was 13. Defendant Trump had sexual contact with me at four different parties in the summer of '94. Do I really need to go on and on and on? I mean, I believe this girl. I mean, she has no reason to lie, just like Bill Cosby, all of these women. Some of them hoes are just hoes, but not all of them are going to be lying. And when you are in a position of power and authority, you are given a lot of trust. And this bitch ass Trump, man, my heart bleeds for this girl. You know what I mean? And you're just taking away something of her personality, her character, her humanity. And I'm pretty sure this motherfucker just laughed at her, knowing, and perhaps that he would get away with it. And I truly hope that's not the case. And I really don't think I need to continue here because it really is a sad story. So you get the general, idea of it. And we're just going to move on to the black female physicist. And hold on, let me bring that up. And so this is coming from the Women in the World. The womenintheworld.com. And it goes on to say the black female physicist pioneered technology that killed cancer cells with lasers. And here she is, beautiful queen. Now I'm hoping I'm pronouncing her name right. Dr. Hadia Nicole Green, one of fewer than 100 black female physicists in the country, and the recent winner of a $1.1 million grant to further develop a technology she pioneered that uses laser-activated nanoparticles to treat cancer. Green, who lost her parents young, was raised by her aunt and uncle while still at school. Her aunt died from cancer 3 months later, and her uncle was diagnosed with cancer too. Green went on to earn her degree in physics at Alabama A&M University, being crowned homecoming queen. While she was at it, before going on to full scholarship to University of Alabama in Birmingham to earn her master's and PhD. There, Green would become the first to work out how to deliver nanoparticles, the first to work out how to deliver nanoparticles into cancer cells exclusively, so that a laser could be used to remove them and then successfully carry out her treatment on living animals. As she takes on her growing responsibilities, Green still makes time to speak at schools, Boys and Girls Club, and other youth events. Young black girls don't see those roles, model, scientists, and so on and so forth, as often as they see Beyonce or Nicki Minaj, says Green. It's important to know that our brains are capable of more. Amen to that, Queen. And so it looked like my computer kind of acting right now, so we're going to hopefully move on and really talk about This is look. This is a big shit. We're coming up on the hour. We're about 10 minutes short of that before we um, cut it loose. But in the world in which we are living, you guys, we have to be proactive. We can't sit up and allow things just to happen. We must participate. We must vote. We must become active in the daily lives of people who are suffering and stand up for the weak, for the women and the children who can't speak for themselves. And if we don't, what good is our life and the lives of others if we cannot defend our own? Politicians, rap stars, music, movie stars, uh, you name it, are not above the law. It doesn't matter how rich and how famous they are. At some point, your mama and your daddy taught you how to be how you are. And morality and character and integrity cannot be legislated into law. That is something that you learn in the home. Power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. And this is what we need to defend ourselves against. That if and when you do become powerful, you must act with integrity. You must do that. Not that you have to, not that you would like to, but that you must act with integrity, character, morality, speaking truth to power, and helping those who cannot help themselves. Because everybody get down at some point. I've been there and not done that. And, whatever fire I had to go through, I went through it. Now I'm a very wealthy man. But, that money is not the end of it all. It's what you can do with it. And as far as I am concerned, you have to have an understanding, a complete and thorough, as much as possible, the understanding of what happiness is. Happiness means doing the thing or things in your life that give you meaning, purpose, sense of direction, and fulfillment. Meaning, purpose, sense of direction, and fulfillment. When you have those two things, and you know you are powerful, you don't have to shout it. You don't have to beat your chest. You don't have to, dress up in diamonds and, you know you're rich, you know you're smart, you know you're intelligent, you know you're wise and full of understanding and so on. So I'm hoping that, my own kids will eventually understand this and don't be so, arrogant because they didn't have to work for it. But you know how that goes. The incoming generation will never know the struggle that I had to go through in order to get to what and where I am, and to leaving that behind. So hopefully they don't have to experience what I had to, and hopefully they'll catch it. And hopefully they'll understand. I don't know how they will be able to feel it, but at least they will be able to understand what I'm talking about, that you must stand up for what is right, just, and true. Aaron, Jacob, Leah, Christabel, and Aston, you guys must stand on firm ground. The ground of knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. Because if you don't, you're going to be the fool, not the other person who's trying to make you out to be a fool. Be strong in your convictions and knowing that what you do know, nobody can tell you that you can't ride a bike or tie your shoes. You know what you know, and don't doubt it. That's it. Because there are a lot of scars out here trying to convince you that you're not a queen or a king trying to strip you of your power, of your royalty, of your birthright. You are Israel's, period. And, you know, if you do go through what Simba went through in The Lion King, you're going to understand it in the end, that even in your own family, there are scars. And you know who Scar is. That's the terrible uncle. He didn't want to see his nephew, Simba, ascend to the throne of his rightful inheritance. And his father was always there. Even after his death, the voice of the ancestors spoke. And this is why it's so very, very, very important to connect back to the past. Because when you know the past, you can understand the present and predict the future. Life is circular, you guys. You don't ever forget this. You got to stay rooted. And in your rootedness, you become powerful and strong. Just like in the end, Simba recognized that. All he had to do was to link back, to get back to the source, the roots of his tree, of his inheritance, of his royalty. And there you have it. There were no ifs, no ands, no buts, no doubts. When you know, you know, you know, and you know. But you got to believe, you guys. You got to believe and you got to know. That is just rock solid, diamond hard faith. And faith is your will to overcome anything that is in front of you. And because when you say move, it moves. I don't give a damn what it is. And you keep studying, keep reading, keep learning, become a true Machiavellian. Read Robert Greene's book, The 48 Laws of Power, The 33 Strategies of War, and so on. And Greene is spelled with an E at the end. And read the most ultimate Bible, what was it called? The Rich and the Super Rich. A really old book, but it's worth to read. So we're coming up on the hour, we're about 9 minutes short. But I think we're going to cut it. We're going to cut it here. So let's try to work it out here. So thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, the WMB Show. And make sure you hit that subscribe button. And also, if you like what you've heard, you can support the show on Patreon, and the links are below the description, and also through PayPal as well. So again, thank you for watching. Also, check out our T-shirts under the description tab, and let's see what else. Yeah, and the blog, which will be back up in a minute. TheWhiteMan'sBurden.blog. There's a lot of information on there that you can find out and you can link up to. And also make sure that you get this guy to call me, to get me on his show. Because I am going to read, write, and erase this punk ass. Alright? So his name is Colin Flaherty, and he wrote the book, White Girl Bleed a Lot. And it's some bullshit book. So, with all that being said, thank you for watching, and we'll see you Friday. Friday is Freak Out Friday, where we don't give a shit about what we say, as long as it's true. We just have a nice, good old country boy time. We just laugh our asses out and just say what the fuck we want to say, how we want to say it, and when we want to say it. We don't give a fuck. So, let's get on out of here. Stay up and stay black. All right, we're out of here, and we'll see you Friday. Peace. Stay up and stay black.